Hello, this is reading on page 48. Victoria, Queen of the United Kingdom. Victoria's early life. Princess Alexandrina Victoria was born into the British royal family on 24th May 1819. Her mother was extremely protective and the princess grew up under the strict rule. She was never allowed to be alone. Her mother, her tutor, her governess was always with her. She shared a bedroom with her mother. In her playtime, her only friends were her dolls and her little dog Dash. When she was older, she described her childhood as rather sad and lonely. At the age of 17, she was introduced to handsome young German Prince Albert. She liked him at once, but she wasn't ready to marry a new queen. The princess was 18 on 24th May 1837. Less than a month later, her uncle, the king, died, and she became a queen on 20th June 1837. Her first two requests were to have an hour by herself and to have her bed removed from her mother's room to bedroom for her own. She didn't want to be called a Queen Alexandrina. Instead, she asked for her second name, Victoria, to be used. Marriage. Victoria was crowned on the 28th June 1838. She made Buckingham Palace her home. Because she was not married, her mother also lived in her palace, but Victoria often refused to see her. She met Prince Albert several times over the next 2 years. Finally, she asked him to marry her, and their wedding took place on the 10th February 1840. Victoria adored her new husband from the first, and she relied on him for advice and support her in her roles as a queen. She had to meet the prime minister, listen to his ideas for the government, and make decisions about the matter of state. Family life. The first child was born on November 1840, and over the next 17 years, they had 8 more children. Family life became important to Victoria. With the Prince Albert guidance, she became a better daughter to her mom. When her mother died in March 1861, Victoria was at her bedside. In December of the same year, Prince Albert died after a short illness, and Victoria was devastated. She wore black for the rest of her life. She continued her government duties, but she didn't live in London. She stayed in her castle in the south of England and in Scotland. Because of this, she wasn't so popular as before. She was advised to be a queen in public more often, and gradually she appeared at more public events. The British Empire. During Victoria region, the British Empire expanded. Much of India came under the British rule, and from the 1st May 1876, Victoria was also named Empress of India. In her opinion, the expansion of the British Empire helped other countries to protected people from the cruel rulers. Other countries didn't have the same point of view and saw Britain as a threat. Britain was often of war and for the empire, which was more powerful than it had ever been before. The Victorian period. Victoria's region was known as the Victorian period. Family life was important to everyone. Bad behavior wasn't allowed and the children had to be obedient. It was a time of industrial progress. Factories, railway, and bridges were built. Cities expanded greatly. For those who had good jobs and comfortable homes, life was pleasant. But for the poorer people who lived in the worst houses, life was hard. Work in factories was exhausting and often dangerous. Many people spoke out against the harsh conditions, and the well known writer Charles Dickens wrote about them. Final years. Victorian's regions of 36 years, 7 months, and 2 days was longer than the region of any king or a queen before her. She had become immensely popular. Her children had married into European family, and she had more than 30 grandchildren. She was known as the grandmother of Europe. When she became ill and died on 22nd January 1901, aged 81, the whole population was deeply saddened. She was buried next to her husband, Prince Albert.